going everyone? Garm here, and I'm here to discuss the current nerfs that were released recently and the question that most people probably have at this point, which is, should I disenchant these cards? And it varies from card to card, and as you all probably know, the cards that were affected were Patches the Pirate, Corridor Creeper, Raza the Chained, and Bone Mare. So, I'm gonna talk about the legendaries first, and I have already disenchanted Patches. I got my 1600 gold for dust actually for him, and the reason I believe you should disenchant Patches is 1600 dust is quite a lot, and even though the charge factor wasn't what made him such a strong card, it was more the fact that he more or less trimmed your deck. He turned the 30 card deck into a 29 card, and a lot of combo decks will give a lot to be able to trim their decks and turn them into a smaller deck and get their combo pieces faster. But the thing is with Patches, he is going to get rotated out of standard with the next expansion, along with Karazhan cards and Old God cards, because Patches is in the Gadgetsan pack of things. You can of course test him out. You are given, I believe, 2 weeks to disenchant these cards, but it is probably the most wise decision to just disenchant him. The new expansion will drop in months or something like that, so you won't really get to use him until he rotates out of standard, or if you do, you won't be able to benefit from the full dust value from the disenchanting. The next legendary is Raza the Chain. Now, I don't have Raza, I never did, but he was used in the, I don't know the deck's name, but it was that deck that revolved around Raza and Shadow Reaper Anduin, and you would essentially have a really strong late game where you just bursted down your opponent, right? Now, this was because Raza turned your hero power into a 0 cost one, and now it's changed to a 1 cost hero power. So, while it might not seem like much of a difference, in that deck it is, and I don't really know if there are any other decks that are more popular using him right now, but if you feel like this is a game changer for you and that he is kinda not usable anymore, then you should probably disenchant him. As I said, I didn't have him, so I can't really give that much of an opinion, but that's as far as it goes. Bone Mare. So, I'm not disenchanting Bone Mare as I feel like a 1 mana increase isn't that much. Compared to the other cards that almost got nerfed to oblivion, Bone Mare is... They only increased the mana cost because they believed it's fitted on a really good curve along with other cards. And on a 8 mana drop, as an 8 mana drop, it kinda ties that 8 mana spot with a lot of other cards, and 7 mana isn't as popular nowadays, so I'm not gonna disenchant him, especially because it's only 40 dust, and I believe I can still use this card pretty well. As for the last one, Corridor Creeper. Now, I believe this is still only useful in, apart from gimmick decks, Evolve Shaman, which I have a deck right now, so I'm not gonna disenchant Corridor Creeper. Even though you lose 3 attack, which was the change, he still maintains his 7 mana cost, so Evolved Shaman can still make quite a good use of this. And I have a deck that revolves around using Corridor Creeper, Spike Reach Steed on the same turn, and eventually a Faceless Creeper. It's also good for that. And maybe also, what is that deck? I'm drawing a blank here. I don't know if I have anything of the sorts here. No, I do not. Anyways, oh, also on Patches, he was used a lot as a 5/5 charger on Quest Rogue. This is a Quest Rogue that I've been using so far this season and the past season. It has been working quite well, 70% win rate, but I much rather prefer, because now it will just be a 5/5 minion for free, right? And this is if you play a pirate after you get the quest finished, which was a bit of an unreliable scenario. So I much prefer having a second preparation, because I only had one preparation and now I can fit the second one at the spot of patches. So yeah, those are the card changes and should disenchant them. Now I'm still gonna use Corridor Creeper on my Evolved Shaman deck, and if you feel like you can still use this card, don't disenchant him, even though it's 800 dust if you have 2 copies. Of course, if you're not me and you don't disenchant everything as soon as you can, then you'll have a lot of copies and then it's obviously worth it. But yeah, I'm still gonna use this in a deck, so I'm not gonna disenchant it. If you don't have a spot for it and you feel like it's definitely nerfed way too much and you can't use it anymore, then feel free to disenchant it, of course. Anyways, this was just a small talk about the current changes that I got presented to me as soon as I logged in on Hearthstone, and I still have to talk about the new patch on League of Legends, and that's the next video, so stay tuned for that. Obviously, this was just more of a talking video, going through some changes, talking about the most recent question, let's call it, that has been searching up for people, and trying to help somebody. So yeah, that was the video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.